In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NFL games happening on August 9, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NFL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Atlanta Falcons versus Miami Dolphins. The Atlanta Falcons are set to kick off their 2024 preseason with an away game at Hard Rock Stadium, where they'll face off against the Miami Dolphins on Friday night. The Falcons wrapped up their 2023-2024 season with a 7-10 record, placing them third in the National Football Conference South. In contrast, the Dolphins ended their season with an 11-6 record, securing second place in the American Football Conference East. As the Falcons approach this new season, they carry a wave of optimism, especially after the offseason signing of quarterback Kirk Cousins. However, there are still several areas where they need to refine their game during the preseason. On the other hand, the Dolphins are coming off a successful 2023 campaign, but their postseason performance left much to be desired, particularly in their matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs, where they struggled to compete. These two teams did clash in the preseason last year, with Atlanta emerging victorious. While it's unlikely that we'll see either team starting quarterback in this game, I believe the Dolphins have a slight advantage. Miami's backup quarterbacks, Mike White and Skylar Thompson, have accumulated valuable experience, which could give them an edge over the Falcons' backups, Penix Jr. and Rourke. Both teams are expected to rely on their backup players for this game, but my preference leans toward the team with more seasoned talent. Mike White, who has considerable experience as a starter and has spent a year in Mike McDaniel's offensive system, along with Skylar Thompson, who has 2 years in the system, give the Dolphins an upper hand. Additionally, Miami boasts significant depth in their running back rotation, which could help them dominate time of possession. In contrast, the Falcons will likely start with Penix, who will be making his NFL debut, followed by Taylor Heinicke, who is still acclimating to head coach Moore's system. Atlanta's lack of depth at both the running back and receiver positions compared to Miami might make it challenging for them to keep pace with the Dolphins. Preseason games, especially the openers, are always unpredictable, but Miami's depth and experience could make the difference. Many experts are already predicting that the Dolphins could be one of the top teams in the league this year. If their offense can remain healthy, they have the potential to excel. While Miami's defense might appear average on paper, they won't need to be dominant if their offense can put up significant points on the scoreboard. Therefore, the Miami Dolphins to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. With Michael Penix Jr. making his professional debut, it's unlikely that nerves will get the better of him, considering his experience in high-pressure situations like the national championship game with the Washington Huskies. However, Miami's backup quarterbacks, Mike White and Skylar Thompson, aren't expected to produce big numbers either. Both teams have solid defensive units, and it should be exciting to see some young talent shine, especially in the secondary. It's unlikely that we'll see a high-scoring affair, typical of preseason openers where offenses often struggle with timing. This gives the defense an inherent advantage. Given these factors, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Houston Texans versus Pittsburgh Steelers. The first full week of NFL preseason action is underway, featuring a clash between 2 American Football Conference teams that both made it to the playoffs last season. This Friday night, the Houston Texans will travel to the Steel City to face off against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Texans are coming off a 21-17 preseason opening loss to the Bears, a game cut short in the third quarter due to severe weather. Meanwhile, the Steelers wrapped up their 2023 season with a 10-7 record, ultimately falling to the Buffalo Bills in the AFC wild card round with a 31-17 loss. These teams previously met during the 2023 regular season, where the Texans dominated with a decisive 30-6 victory at home on October 1st. The Texans are expected to field their starting lineup, including Pro Bowl quarterback C.J. Stroud and All-Pro wide receiver Stefon Diggs. This combination represents a significant improvement over the backup players who kept the score close in the Hall of Fame game. Stroud and Diggs have been putting in extra work to develop their on-field chemistry, which should translate into a stronger offensive performance. Head coach DeMeco Ryans has emphasized the importance of getting his starters meaningful live game experience, signaling the Texans' intent to deliver a solid performance. On the other hand, the Steelers are likely to rotate their second-team defense, which will face a tough challenge against Houston's first-string offense. Last week, the Texans managed to put up 17 points with backup quarterbacks Davis Mills and Case Keenum at the helm. With their starters on the field, the Texans are expected to increase their scoring output by 7 to 10 points, improving their chances of covering the spread. Additionally, the Steelers will be resting several key veterans, including T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, and Minkah Fitzpatrick, which could affect their overall performance and defensive cohesion. The absence of these experienced players might make it difficult for Pittsburgh to contain the Texans' offensive attack, particularly in the first half. Houston comes into this game with the advantage of already having played a preseason contest. In their matchup against the Bears last week, the Texans' second-string players looked sharp early on, with Mills leading a touchdown drive right off the opening kickoff. Houston's first-string offense will be up against a Pittsburgh defense missing key players like T.J. Watt, Cameron Hayward, Alex Highsmith, Patrick Queen, and Minkah Fitzpatrick, which should work in Houston's favor. On the other hand, Pittsburgh has yet to take the field this preseason, making it interesting to see how quarterback Justin Fields adapts to new offensive coordinator Arthur Smith's system and how the team performs overall. While the Hall of Fame game is one of the more subdued events in the NFL preseason, the live game experience should benefit Houston. During that game, the Texans moved the ball effectively in the first half, finishing with 15 first downs and 244 total yards. The passing game showed promise, at least in the early stages. As for Pittsburgh, their revamped offensive line should provide strong support for new quarterback Russell Wilson and running back Najee Harris. Defensive standout T.J. Watt is also expected to make an impact. If everything goes according to plan, the Steelers should be strong contenders for a division title by the end of the season. Given these factors, the Houston Texans to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full-game side pick. In the recent Hall of Fame game, the Texans and Bears combined for a total of 38 points, reaching a 21-17 scoreline just over halfway through the contest, with backup quarterbacks Davis Mills and Case Keenum leading the way. As we look ahead to this upcoming game, the Texans starters, including Pro Bowl quarterback C.J. Stroud and All-Pro wide receiver Stefon Diggs, will be taking the field. The Steelers' second-team defense will have to contend with this potent lineup, which includes the 2023 Offensive Rookie of the Year, an All-Pro receiver, Tank Dell, Joe Mixon, and more, all expected to feature for at least a drive or two. On the other side, Justin Fields is set to lead the Steelers' offense. With limited tape available on him in Arthur Smith's new offensive scheme, Fields could have several successful drives against the Texans' defense. The element of surprise, combined with Fields' skill set, should contribute to higher scoring overall. Given the circumstances, the projected total seems too low, making a strong case for a high-scoring affair. Therefore, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Philadelphia Eagles versus Baltimore Ravens. In the first preseason games for both teams, a non-conference matchup, the Baltimore Ravens will host the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles started last season strong but faltered towards the end, losing 5 of their last 6 games and suffering a heavy defeat in the first round of the playoffs. In this preseason game, Philadelphia plans to rest most of its starters, as will Baltimore. However, the Eagles will face a Ravens team known for its strong running game. Notably, last season, the Eagles lost to the Ravens 20-19 in their preseason opener on the road. The Ravens once again had a solid regular season last year, but their playoff run ended in disappointment. While they managed to win their first playoff game, costly mistakes in their next matchup led to a narrow defeat against the eventual Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs. This season, both teams have legitimate Super Bowl aspirations, and this first preseason game will be an opportunity to evaluate fringe players hoping to make the final roster. Ravens coach John Harbaugh, who values preseason action, might play a few more of his key players than the Eagles. Expect Baltimore to lean heavily on their ground game, a staple of their offensive strategy, with running back Justice Hill showing promise last season. On the other hand, the Eagles might opt for a more pass-heavy approach as their backup quarterback position remains uncertain. This matchup is intriguing because both teams have most of their top-tier and first-string talent secured. With injury concerns from previous seasons lingering, it remains to be seen how much playing time the starters will actually get. Nevertheless, one thing has remained consistent: the Ravens' strong performances in the preseason. Although their preseason winning streak ended last year, John Harbaugh has a knack for getting his team ready to compete right from the start. When betting on NFL preseason games, it's crucial to focus on the backups, especially since both the Ravens and Eagles are serious title contenders who already have a good sense of their main players. My primary focus is on the quarterbacks, though the backup options in this game leave much to be desired. The Eagles are likely to field Tanner McKee, Will Grier, and Kenny Pickett, quarterbacks with either no experience, limited experience, or inconsistent performances. Meanwhile, the Ravens have Josh Johnson, Devin Leary, and Emory Jones, one veteran who has been in the league since 2008 and two newcomers who have yet to see NFL action. Despite the uncertainties, Johnson could be a game changer. As a veteran quarterback who was drafted in 2008, he has seen every type of defense and could find success against backup defenders if he gets a significant amount of playing time. Baltimore has traditionally excelled in the preseason, and they have the added advantage of playing at home, which slightly boosts their chances. Given their odds, betting on the Ravens as underdogs on Friday could be a smart move. Their depth and reliable special teams, coupled with a strong defense, give them the edge. Much like last season, the Ravens should be able to pull out a close win against the Eagles, making the Baltimore Ravens to cover the spread as underdogs our full-game side pick. Defensively, Philadelphia is coming off a season where they ranked 30th in scoring, while Baltimore is adjusting to a new defensive coordinator. The Hall of Fame game already showcased offenses that were ahead of the defenses, and this trend could continue. Don't be surprised if this game exceeds the projected total. With both teams testing out new backup quarterbacks eager to prove themselves, expect them to aim for touchdown drives. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.